Hello and welcome to my first proper video from E3, or at least my hotel room near E3 in the same city where E3 takes place. I managed to get some sleep last night after being knackered after my 11-hour flight, although I did wake up at 4 AM in the morning, which is a time that I'm not used to seeing. It was a little bit like waking up during the dark hour from Persona 3. There's a wee joke for all you Persona 3 fans out there. I know there's a few of you that watch BitSocket. Now, before I go to the first day of E3 proper, I thought I'd just share some thoughts about the Sony conference from yesterday. I missed the Microsoft one because I was on the flight to LA yesterday, but I did manage to catch the Sony conference, and I thought I'd just share some thoughts and do a wee blog. And I'm going to continue this blog every day, just saying what I've seen, a bit like catchphrase as I go. If you want to see proper previews and interviews and stuff like that, if you subscribe to the PlayStation Access channel, because I'll be doing videos for them as well. So the Sony conference kicked off with David Cage, his new game with Quantic Dream, and his new game is called Beyond, starring Ellen Page. Now it looks like it's going to carry on the tradition of David Cage games, in that it's got really interesting characters and a really interesting scenario that's quite unique for games. It also looks like it might carry on the tradition of David Cage games, in that it ruins any suspension of disbelief by having some crazy shit happen. Although I'm actually a big fan of his games so far, and I like getting wrapped up in the worlds he creates. I really hope that this time it delivers the goods all the way through, because as much as I loved Heavy Rain and Fahrenheit, it did get a bit silly. After that, things got a little bit less unique and a bit more Me Too with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which is probably the most long-winded name that I've ever heard for a game, apart from maybe any of the Street Fighter titles. Now, All-Stars is a complete clone of Smash Brothers. I mean, it's got a couple of different rule changes, but if you look at them both side by side, it's pretty obvious where the kind of source of inspiration came from. Now, the whole joy of playing Smash Brothers for me is playing as characters that I love. But I don't love many of the Sony characters that are coming into this game. Obviously it does have Sly Cooper and Nathan Drake and Parappa the Rapper, but that's only a small selection. Obviously, and also there's not many girls in it, there's not many female characters. It's a very male-centric game, but I'm looking forward to playing it though, because I really love Smash Bros. Now, I kind of fell asleep a wee bit during the next couple of games because they showed off God of War. Now, I've never really been a fan of God of War. I'm more of a kind of Devil May Cry kind of guy. And this looks like it's just going to carry on the same idea, except it's a prequel this time. There's going to be a lot of them this year apparently. Now, I mean, I can't deny it looks very impressive, really pretty and stuff like that, but I just don't like the style of those kind of games that much. You know? I feel like if I'm looking for an action game, I prefer things to be more Japanese. And then carrying on the tradition of me being completely bored shitless by the games being shown off, they were then shown Far Cry 3 and some co-op modes. Now, the first thing that came to my mind seeing this, because it was a kind of bridge level, was a similar level from Sonic 2006. Now, when the first game that comes to your mind when you're looking at a trailer for something is Sonic 2006, it's pretty clear that the game is not your cup of tea. Now, next Sony showed off something that I'm actually really impressed by. Now, I know a lot of hardcore gamers out there are going to turn their nose up at this and just say that Sony are abandoning them, but this new Wonder Book thing looks like it's perfect for the intended audience. I can see, parents with kids sitting there and sharing, a kind of journey through the story together. I think it might be Sony's next big kind of iToy or SingStar moment. It's going to be something it's good for a very specific audience. The only problem is that when they were showing off the Harry Potter, which was a big coup for Sony, when they were showing off the Harry Potter book, things went a bit wrong technically. Although I need to remind you that with the same thing happened for Skyward Sword a couple of years ago. Everybody remembers Shigeru Miyamoto swinging about with his nunchuck or his Wii remote and nothing was happening on screen, and yet 2 years later it came out and it was one of my favourite games of the year. So I've got high hopes for Wonder Book. I mean, if I had kids, I would lap it up, I would buy it as soon as it came out. I mean, obviously it's not made for me, but I can see that if it works, it's perfect for who it's intended for. And then Sony showed off the Vita. Now, I mean, a lot of people have been saying that the Vita is a failure. It's just a bit of a slow starter, but it looks like they're trying to get some backing from some big names. They've got a Call of Duty game coming out for it, which, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Call of Duty, but I can see that a lot of people are, and it's a huge deal to have some sort of Call of Duty presence on the Vita. And also Assassin's Creed as well. Now, Assassin's Creed has always been a game that I've admired more than enjoyed. I've always enjoyed kind of watching people play it, but I've not really get into it myself. But I do see that if I had a Vita, it's the kind of game that I'd love to dip in and dip out of. I can just see myself, enjoying running about, doing free running and stuff like that. So I'm quite impressed by it, and it looks beautiful, of course, and if that was a real showcase for what the Vita can do. The only problem is that it seems to be the same tactic that Sony were using for the PSP, and that, you know, getting big blockbuster game names to back their portable, and yet nobody bought the PSP apart from, you know, dullards like me. So we'll see if it kind of kicks off. Now, this wasn't part of the conference, but the game that's convincing me that the Vita is something that I really need to get is the trailer for Persona 4, which looks like it's going to satisfy my JRPG cravings, although I've still not finished Persona 3 yet. There's another one for all you Persona 3 fans out there. Now, the big reveal, the big moment, the one that kind of probably summed up why Sony have got quite a strong showing this year, is the trailer for The Last of Us. This is the Uncharted team's new game, and it's looking really, really good. I was sceptical about the setting when I saw the trailer last year. It looked like another kind of post-apocalyptic game. You know, we've all been there. I don't mean in real life, I mean in games. But this game looks really good. It looks like it's following on from the Uncharted stable of a really gripping action adventure, but with a wee bit more emphasis on survival and violence. Now, I'm not really, when it comes to violence in games, I'm not usually taken by it. I tend not to like games that are really violent, but this game, there's a style to it and a tone to it and a kind of desperation to it, and it really works, and I'm really looking forward to playing this game properly. And hopefully I'll be able to when I go to E3 today for the first time, so I'll report back tomorrow morning with another video like this, and I'll tell you how it plays. See you later.